Today we're going to kind of look back at what, I spent a few days kind of going back through my slide from the beginning of the year, kind of what my goals were, what I thought, where we were going, where I'd like to see us go. And just would like to talk a little bit about, give everybody an update, where we're at, where, on some things, what have I dropped the ball on, and that. So just want to kind of go back through, I'll leave time for questions at the end, if you guys have them. I think when I talked when I first started, and this is something that I've realized, I think over the last 6 months, is why did people join? When you joined originally, is that still the same now? Has your outlook changed? Why you remember, has that changed? Who are our members? I think one thing that, and I'll get to here in a second, in talking with it, I think things have changed since the pandemic. We talk about that all the time. I think people's views have changed. Maybe why they've joined has changed. And what I mean by that is, do we know why people are here? What they're trying to accomplish with being a member of our club? And I think that's on us, as myself as president of the board, to understand why people are here, what they're looking to get out of their membership, and make sure that we can provide that to them. I think at times we forget to think about, we are here to serve the members and what they're looking to do, and make sure that we're giving those opportunities. And when you don't do that, that opens up the door for people to walk out. So you're going to see a membership survey coming in the next few days. I'm putting the final tweaks to it. I would like everybody to answer the questions. It shouldn't take a lot of time. This is for the benefit of our club. I want to know what you want from us, what you're looking to get out of it, what drives you. There's not going to be a lot of questions to it, but I think this is important to know where we need to go, where we need to take our club, and make sure that we're providing the same things, because it is different from when I joined. I think we see it. We've had a hard time doing socials. We need to get back to that. That's part of that. What do people want to see us do? What, Jim's done a great job, and I'll talk about it. Him and with the social or the local projects, we've had a lot of things, a lot of new things that we haven't done in the past. But are we hitting what drives everybody? And we're not going to find something that everybody's going to be about. But the way I look at it is, we can put things, whether it be socials or local projects, in buckets, whether it be education or whatever it may be. And we should be able to find something that fits and hits that passion for people within our club. And that's why I want to do this survey. And talking to Neil a little bit about it a few weeks ago, he and I were talking about it, and he goes, Jason, I think you're right, that times we forget about our members and do we know them the way we used to. So you'll see that, when you get it, please take the time to do it. It's for the benefit of us, because part of that, I'm doing the survey, is it'll come here in just a second, so I'll kind of circle back to it. My theme for the year was remember the past, focus on the future. I truly believe, like, we're on a different path now, and we've got to adjust to that. I'm not going to dwell on it. I think we all understand that, we're kind of I think we're in a transition phase, and we've got to adjust. And really what that means is, where are we taking our club over the next 5-10 years? It's not really about this year. It's about the next wave for, where are we going to go with Ashley, with John, and those that follow them in the presidency, making sure that we set that path for them to be successful in their years. The reason I want to do the survey is we're going to be doing club visioning. I'm waiting to hear back. They're going to give me the dates. We're targeting either February or March that we will sit down with the district and do a visioning session that we put out a 5 to 10 year plan for our club and where we're going for that. We've got a list of people that, we looked at. If it's something that you're passionate about, I'd love to have you. I can't have everybody. I can only have about 20 to 25 people. When I laid it out, my idea was to have a list of people that have been in the club for a long time, people that have been in that middle ground, and then having rookies, having a good mix of all three, because I think we need to be able to look at visions from all three levels in our club to make sure that we're covering everybody's bases in their opinions from that. If it's something that you don't want to be a part of visioning, but you have some thoughts on it, pull me aside, shoot me an email, let me know your thoughts. Not everybody wants to sit around. Just so you know, this it's probably going to be, and I don't know, Matt, if you would know this, probably 2-3 hour, something like that commitment. My guess, it would probably be a Saturday, and more than likely it's going to be at the ballpark, so that way we've got a big conference room that we can spread out and do that. So I'll be sending out emails for that in the next few weeks once I have a date. Like I said, I've got a list of people and then got alternates to kind of fill in. But again, if it's something you're passionate about and want to be a part of, I want to make sure that I get people that want to be a part of that process. So reach out, let me know if that's something that you're in. That is something that the last time we did it was 15. So it's been a while. It's time to look back and plan out our next 5 to 10 years and where we want to go as a club. Why do we need this? Not going to harp on it. We know where we're at. We've seen this decline. It's been this way for, honestly, since I've been a member. So we're not going to dwell on it. We all know where we were and kind of where we're at. So I set a bunch of secondary goals for the year, and then main goals, probably against the demise of everybody that gave me pick 3 things. I picked like 10. But it's one of those things. I think, this was what comes to mind when I think about, how can we change where we're going? Okay. My number 1 was to be net zero. I think every year, even the district says, let's be a positive 5% or whatever it is. You can't stop the bleeding until you get a net zero. So my goal was to be net zero. We started the year at 121. We're currently setting at 122 in our membership year. We've welcomed 7 new members already this year. Do I want to be net zero? No. I want to be positive, but I'm not going to set a goal of a +3 when do we know if that's realistic? On a yearly basis, we probably see anywhere from 15 to 18 members that are no longer in our club. So that tells you we got to bring in another 8 to 10 new members in the next 6 months just to keep where we're at on the year. And that's just an average that the district has seen. They think anywhere from, he told me 15 to 18. So with this, my challenge is, think about people out in the community, friends that we all know people that would be great Rotarians. Invite them. It doesn't hurt to invite somebody for a free lunch, right? Let them try it out. I think if they come, I still remember the day that I walked in with Don Schaefer. I was scared. I'm like, I don't even know these people. I was fairly new to the area, but then I walked in and I was like, oh, I know that person, and I know that person, I know that person, and then I was like, oh, I know these people. They're kind of like me. So I think that's a challenge for all of us. Try to find somebody in your circle or somebody that is a colleague or somebody that you work with that you think would be a good Rotarian and invite them to our club just to try it out. If they don't join, they don't join. Maybe they'll join in a year, 3 years, 5 years. But let's introduce people to our club and continue to try to get back where we were. All right, socials, my goal was one a month. We have failed on that. And I take responsibility for that. Katie and I have talked about it. We're going to ramp it up in the spring here. Part of that survey is what do people want to see done on socials? You know, we don't want it to be the same thing we've always done. You know, is there something things, I mean, we still want to try to circle back and do a family fun day. I remember things that I've done over the years, you know, but it comes back to you guys. What is it going to be that gets people excited coming out? I know we're all busy. Is it during the week? Is it during the weekend? You know, I know it's not going to fit everybody, but if we can find alternate times to where we can offer things for people, we want to be able to do that. And so part of that survey is going to be, you know, what kind of socials do you want to see us provide? You know, that way we can do it. And it doesn't have to be anything big. You know, I enjoy just hanging out. Like people talked about the wine and cheese party. I struggled that day to start the meeting because I loved watching people just talk and get a chance to catch up and have that. I think we started 25 minutes late that day. But I struggled that day because that's what I envisioned a social being. I looked at it as it was a social. It was a great chance just to be with friends and just connect and have a great day. So think about that. What are some things that you'd like to see our club do for socials? So that way we can think about it. Talked about service projects, a minimum of 2 opportunities per month. Jim, and I don't know if he left. Did he leave?
That's okay with you.
He's still there. Jim has absolutely crushed it this year. You know, when you think about that, there's a lot of stuff on there that, you know, there's some stuff that we do every year, but there's some new things on there. And I always tell Jim, I mean, sometimes we have decent turnout. Sometimes it was just Jim going. I don't think a lot of people know that. Some of those at the very beginning, him and his wife went, and they might have been the only ones there. And I didn't want him to get discouraged about that. So I keep telling him, hey, keep pushing. I know we're not going to get a lot of people at every one, but keep doing what you're doing. This is what I envisioned. So if you think about things that we've done in the past, if you think about some projects that we've been a part of, let us, you know, let Jim know. You know, we used to do stuff with the bowling, the state tournament. I know it's passed, but we've done different things over the years. If there's things that you're passionate about, again, you just got to say something. And my challenge to everybody is on both the socials and the service projects, make it to 1 this year. You know, try to make it to 1 of them. That way we can look at back and say, hey, I know we're not going to get 100% participation, but I'd love to get as close as possible that everybody went to at least 1 social, everybody went to at least 1 service project. Again, because it all goes back to the more we have, the more people we have out there, the bigger impact we have in our community. All right. Another one was branding and merch. There will be new merchandise in the first quarter. We found a group out of Galesburg that she can go in and she can literally put our thing on just about anything. I've shot her an email to ask her a little bit more about it. I don't know if it's one of those things where we can order anything, and if you order 1 of something, that's fine, or if we have to pick a few items. But if you have items that you'd like to see on that, let us know. You know, again, this goes back to when I was in Melbourne, Australia at the International Convention. I felt naked. I had nothing that said our club on it. I wasn't going to wear our t-shirt. Again, that was on me. I should have had one by now. But it just kind of walking around and seeing every club have their own, whether it be a polo or a jacket or something like that. It just kind of struck me like, okay, we gotta, if they're doing it, we need to do it too. And it's something that, it's not mandatory. It's more, maybe it's for me. But I would like to see us have some merch that we can, kind of display who we are and what we do. I want to shout out to David. He's done a great job staying connected with the Rotary clubs, trying to learn about what they do on from their perspective. But I think we've got some ideas that is there ways that we can connect with our interact, and to Scott with the Rotaract too. How can we connect them with us more? Whether it's being involved in, if they have events that they're doing, whether it be charity events, socials, finding ways to really interact with them. I think that's a great feeder system. I mean, most of them are going to go to college, right? But I look at Rotary almost like you do the minor leagues. Everything leads up to Rotary is the big time club. If you can get a high school kid and interact to join the Rotaract, and then Rotaractors to join Rotary, that's what we look at. We want to be a feeder system for that. So I think to really engage them, we got to find a way to engage both those clubs better than we have. And I've got some ideas on that we're going to try to look at here in the second half. This is one of those that I've dropped the ball on. And looking back at when I looked at my presentation, I'm like, forgot that one. So that will be a focus as we head in here to the second half of the year. Scholarships. This is another one that I dropped the ball on, but we've got 2 great scholarships that we do, but are there ways for us to expand what we do? I think there's opportunities for that. I know John and I have had some conversations about it. I know that Becky, John, and John and I will meet here short in the next little bit here to talk about this. Is there a way that we can expand this going forward? I think a lot of times, yes, we want to recognize those kids that have excelled, but what about those kids that maybe need a little bit more? They need that help, that would mean more to them. Not that it doesn't mean anything to those that have won, but there's other people out there, there's different areas that people want to go into that maybe they can't afford to do it. Is there a way that we can expand what our reach and what we do to help those, not just the top tier talent? There's other people out there. So we're going to look at that and find ways to expand our scholarship reach if we can, looking through the kind of where we're heading on that. Collaboration with local clubs. I've been in contact with the local presidents periodically over the fall here. We've kind of talked that we felt like there was never really collaborations for our region. It was always just done through the district, and that needs to change. So we're going to try to start that this year. We've got a lunch scheduled here for later this month for us just to kind of get together and figure out how ways we can work together. I feel if we can work together, it makes us stronger. It's a bigger pool of people to work from, and really be there just to help each other out. At times it's great talking to past presidents. They can give you stuff, but being able to talk to somebody that's in it with you in the here and now, I think gives you a different area to try to reach. And part of that meeting is going to be discussed to set up the Rotary Impact Day. I talked a little bit about that back in July. Kind of my vision for that is every Rotary club does a local project in their community on the same day. And we just schedule that for some time in the spring. I think would be a great storyline, not only for the news and all them, but I think it would be a great pub for us, but also make a huge impact. To see all the clubs doing something in our communities at the same time, I feel like that's something that we can truly get behind and have a lot of fun with. And hopefully it's something that we can start doing on a yearly basis, just to kind of get the name out in our community of Rotary. Celebrate what we do in our community. We've done a great job on social. Leslie's done a great job with that, and with her and her team, seeing it out there, trying to get the word out of our meetings and stuff like that. But I think we have to continue to do that. Again, we're not here for pats on the back. That's not why we do this. But we should still tell people what we're doing. How are they going to know about us? Why would they want to join if they don't know who we are and what we do? There are people out there in this community that want to give back. I was connected with a guy through a friend of mine a few weeks ago, and he and I set up a call. He runs a business in Morton. We set up a call on my way back from Nashville, and he and I talked for like an hour, just about Rotary, about Central Illinois, about he had kids and why he wanted to be able to give back and show them that it was about more than just what they had. It was about helping others. And that's, he and I connected because that's honestly why I joined. I wanted to show my two boys, it's not about what we have. It's about what we can do to help others. And I can see that, on a daily basis. It makes me think about a few weeks ago, Carter was, I told the story about the elf, about how he told us he knew the elf wasn't real. Well, that day he had to go, him and my wife had to go to Walmart to get something for, I think school was collecting items for families for Christmas. And as he walked out, they had the bell ringer there, just like they do in their holidays. And he was like, well, what do they do? And my wife told him what they did. And he was like, hold on, Mom. And he went into his wallet and went back and put money in. That made more to me, because I felt like maybe that was him seeing what Rotary is, that it's about helping others. It's not about, you could have spent that money on a video game or done something else, but he chose to donate and give it to somebody else that needed it more. And I think that's why we have to continue to push what we do in the community, and show the impact that we have. I couldn't remember if there was a second one there, so I want to thank Leslie and her team. You guys have done a great job. So we'll keep doing that for the second half. All right. Main goals. The community project. It's been 5 years since we did the gazebo on the bike trail. Still hear people talk about it. When I talk about them and they know I'm part of the club, they're like, wait a minute, you guys are the one that did the gazebo on the bike trail? Yeah, that was us. We're still in discussions on that. Our hope is that we'll have something lined out by the time early March is kind of our time frame, to try to figure out some kind of community project for us to do and make a difference. We've done a couple. Hopefully this is one of those things that we can look at doing every 5 to 7 years, depending on where we're at. But I think finding these projects are great. It's a great way for us to get our name out, but also make that impact. And that's really what we're trying to do this year, is make an impact in our community. International project. We've talked about it. Jen and that group, Mark Roberts, I want to thank Jen and Mark. Mark, when I announced this, he came up and goes, I'd like to head that committee, which made it a lot easier on me, because if Mark's behind it, I figure it's a pretty good thing. But you know, I think this is a great way for us to get back in the community, make a difference not only here locally but internationally. And it's interesting because over the holidays, and I haven't had a chance to tell Jen this, I just happened to be on Facebook and somebody that I was friends with posted, "Hey, have you seen the movie?" It would remind me that Freedom.
It's on the Freedom.
Yeah. Have you seen that? If you haven't, watch it. Well, then all of a sudden, all their friends were like commenting on it. So I went in and I said, well, it's interesting enough that you guys are passionate about this and you think that there needs to be something about it, because we're actually doing an event in February to raise money for that exact thing. And she was like, seriously, send it to me. And so I posted it on their thread. And hopefully that they'll come and join us for that. Because it is, you know, the project that we're looking at, it's right here in our backyard. It's bigger than we realize. And it's got to stop. You know, a lot of us here have kids, we have grandkids. Like, it is that close to affecting somebody in this room. And it's time for us to make a difference. So I'm super excited about this. I think this is just the start of us being doing things internationally, and it won't just stop here. There's other opportunities. I know Adam's got something that he's working on. We still have the Almani Center that I'd like to look at down the road. She's not ready for us. You know, she's over there, but they're not ready for us to be involved. And this all goes back to, we're an international organization. So not only are we going to make an impact here, but we're going to make an impact internationally as well. So I'm super excited for that event. Again, I hope people are excited and are going to be a part of it. But the big thing, invite others. It's not just a Rotary thing. You know, we want to invite people in the community to be a part of it, and let's get the word out of what's going on with child sex trafficking. Again, this is the first step, and we'll continue to grow on this on a yearly basis. I talked about an impact club. I've changed my mind. You know, the vision I had when I took over, and kind of where I'm at now, we don't need a new club. We don't need to do something and create something that doesn't exist. What we have to do is we need to look at who we are and what we're offering as a club on membership levels. So I did a soft proposal to our board in December. I still got a couple people I've got to meet with that weren't there or weren't able to stick. We're going to re-gauge it in January. I don't want to get into a lot of specifics on it, but we're looking at creating a new membership level for members. We can't be a one size fits all because it doesn't work. One size fits all does not work for everybody. And I'm not saying that we're going to change what we do. This is an option for people if they want to take advantage of it. I've talked to Neil Miller about it. He told me, Jason, it took me 7 years to get this changed in our club. I'm hoping it doesn't take me 7 years. I truly think that what we're looking at will make a difference. Not only bring back people that were part of our club, but bring in new people that maybe have thought about joining us in the past and just couldn't do it. So again, there'll be more information on it. I know there's going to be, I'll address it. There's going to be some people that are not going to be happy about it, and that's fine. You can yell at me, you can come and talk about me, you can email me, whatever you need to do. In my heart, this is what we need to do for our club. And I'm passionate enough about it that I will this is something that I will fight for until it happens. So again, I'm happy to talk to anybody about it once we get there. But I wanted the board to make sure that the board's behind it before we announce it to the organization. But again, I truly believe this will make a huge impact of where we're going in the future. And again, it's not to say that people have to change what they do. It's just a new setup for a potential member if they would like to go down this path. So again, I know that's very vague, but I don't want to get ahead of the horse, the cart ahead of the horse here. So bear with me, and then eventually we'll make that announcement. And again, I will be happy to talk more about it, answer any questions when we get to that point. Okay. I think the one thing, I put this back in, going into the year, I wanted to have fun. I think we've had fun. I think we can have more. Part of that is the socials and doing stuff like that. But we also need to make sure that people are vested, that they want to have. Do we want to have fun? If we don't have to. I'm not going to force that on anybody. But the way I would look at it is, ask you this question to yourself right now. Did you have fun the first 6 months? If the answer is no, why not? What do we need to do for you to have fun? What do we need to provide to make sure that, because to me, the giving back, the meeting every week, that's part of it. But honestly, if you're not having fun, that's a bigger piece to me. You've got to enjoy what you do. You got to enjoy being part of this club. So if you're not having fun, tell me how I can change that. Because I want to make sure that people, that they look forward to being a part of coming to the weekly meetings. They look forward to doing things with other members in our club. That's probably the most important thing to me, is making sure that we're having fun. I felt like, coming out of the pandemic, we struggled with that. And I think everybody has. I hate that we still say things have changed since the pandemic, but I felt like I've said it more and more in the last probably 6 months, because I thought it would be, maybe I'm naive and thought it would be over with by now, but it hasn't been. I still think that there's things that have changed in our lives. So let's make sure the next 6 months we have fun, and then I'll let Ashley figure out if she wants to have fun next year. But for me, let's finish this year strong. Let's have fun the next 6 months. Let's get people a part of our club. Let's make impacts in the community. And again, let's do what we do, as a club. Continue to give back and make a difference. Put this back up there. You can reach out to me anytime, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. I do appreciate people reaching out to me. If you have issues, please talk to me. If there's something you like that we're doing, let me know. But my job here is to serve you guys. So I need to make sure that you guys know that. I see Randolph taking pictures. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
So, I need a QR code.
I might regret that later. But my door's open, whether it's before the meetings, after the meetings, anytime. I'm happy to talk about it. We all joined this club for a reason. I love this club, and I want to see it succeed. The other way you can look at it, you only got 6 more months of it. Then I'm gone. Then I'll go back, sitting back there. Thanks, Dolly. Then I'll go back to the very back, and I will never sit up here again for like another 3 years.
Kelly said that once or twice.
I know. I always like, I've been sitting up front for like 3 years now. But, so any questions? I know that that's more me probably talking instead of doing that, but feedback, I just want to open it up if there's questions or comments to anybody. If not, then I nailed it again. I am having fun. I always have fun. So I think I worry about everybody else. But I think that's part of it. I mean, that's what I do in my daily job. I got to make sure that hundreds of thousands of people enjoy themselves when they walk in the ballpark. So it's hard to turn that off, no matter what you do. So no, I've really had it. I just want to make sure that we're going in the right direction, and I think, getting to know our members is a big part of that. I really do. I think we just got to figure out who everybody is again. I mean, we got new members that have joined since I've been here. They may have a different vision of what they see. So, uh-oh.
All good.
Just remember, I introduced you in my ballpark.
You did. I owe you great indebtedness of gratitude. Lots of thanks. Anyway, no, nice job, Jason. We appreciate your candidness, and some things work, some things don't work. You've laid it out. You've been very clear, and I think you're just doing a great job leading us in the next 6 months. We've got some things to work on, and I think you've got buy-in. We just got to make it happen, and we will. So, no, thank you for what you're doing.
I appreciate that. Like I said, I told you 6 months ago I wasn't going to make everybody happy. That's not my goal. If I did that, I don't even know if I'd be here. If I worried about everybody to make them happy, that's just been my mantra. When I find something I'm passionate about, I'm going to fight for it. So I think that's the one thing I can hang my hat on, is that, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. So some of these things we might do, and I might come back and be like, God, that was a really dumb idea. And I'll stand up here at the podium and say, hey, I was wrong 2 years ago or 3 years ago when I said that. So, but you're right. I mean, the biggest thing is, let's continue let's be who we are. Let's get back to who we are. I want to re-engage everybody, make sure that people, again, I know everybody's busy. We all, whether you have kids, grandkids, you're involved in other things. We're all busy. I get it. My biggest thing is let's really dig in the next 6 months and see what we can do to finish this year strong. And then we'll head into the next year, and then it's your show. So, all right. Thank you, guys.